What is going on, guys? Quality Trades here, and today we are going to be diving into an essential part of trading, understanding market trends. So, by the end of this video, you guys are going to know how to identify trends, but also how to use them. Let's get right into it. All right, so what is a trend line? A trend line is a straight line that connects two or more price points and extends into the future to act as a line of support or resistance. It is one of the most basic yet powerful tools in technical analysis. So let's get into the basics of drawing trend lines. So as you guys can see, we have Thinkorswim open here. We're on the daily chart of QQQ. I like QQQ and SPY personally. Those are the two stocks, ETFs, you could say, that I like to trade because they are very consistent. All right, so trend lines. You guys are going to identify the low, right? Identify the low. Then as price goes up, comes back down here, this would be one. So like, if we didn't have this information, this would be our trend line right here on the daily chart. All right. And if we were on a smaller time frame, you could use probably this one as another trend line. But that's for a smaller time frame. But for this example, we're on the daily, and this would be the trend line for this chart. So because we are in a bullish market right now, we are going to be looking for the bottoms of the trend. And we're going to use this line to connect those points to the trend line. Now, what does that mean for us as traders? So we see, let's say this information's out of the question. You see price coming up, go here, boom. Now we have our trend line. We let's say we draw it further, right? Price goes up again without even the information that we have. We know now that this is going to be an area of a potential buy because we are in this bullish trend. And because we're in the bullish trend, we're going to be looking for longs when price comes down to that point. Now let's look at a bearish example of this. So before we were on a daily time frame perspective on QQQ, but now we changed it to the weekly. All right, so the bearish example would be here. You have this trend line, starts here, boom. So price came up, came back down, came up again. It also, price was lower this time, so price started creating higher lows. That's also another sign of, oh, the trend is changing, right? So now we reach this high and we tank all the way down, pop back up, get near that trend line, go back down, come back up to that trend line, come back down, go back up to that trend line. Now, as you can see right here, it is not perfect. And that is because the stock market is not perfect. If the stock market was perfect, then it would be easy for everyone, right? So it's not going to be perfect every time, but we have a general idea of where price is going to change, where price is going to react. And that is the concept that I want you guys to understand. The next topic of trends we're going to talk about is identifying trend reversals. So let's start over here. We have this high, we have this low. Then we create a lower high and a lower low. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All of a sudden though, we create a higher high, then a higher low, higher high, higher low. What this means now is the trend has now changed. Now, we want to identify those trend reversals to know if we're in bearish conditions or bullish conditions. So from there, price continued to soar up, right? Then we eventually reach the peak right here. We go down and then we come up, creating this lower high. Now, this is like a big red flag. This is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Price is changing. The trend is changing. Something is happening right here. Lower high, and then another lower low. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So you guys can see that once the market starts changing its shape, creating those lower highs, lower lows, or higher highs and higher lows, we can identify these trend reversals. And I would say I like using the 4-hour time frame for this, because if you look at a daily chart, right, you can see it still, but if you zoom in at the 4-hour, you're still getting a lot of weight and perspective within each candlestick. You're getting a lot of information, and you are able to see those reversals clearer and also just better. Right, so with that concept in mind, number one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is patience. You guys need to wait for the price to touch the trend line before entering the trade. So for example, the trend line that we drew on the weekly and it didn't touch it, yeah, maybe we didn't enter that trade because it wasn't a good setup for us. Maybe there was other factors that was influencing it to be a good setup, but if we were just using trend lines, it wouldn't have fit the criteria. All right, second thing, stop loss. You guys always need to set a stop loss to protect your capital. Trading is about the game of defense and staying in it for the long run. We don't want to wipe our account right away. And trust me, I have done this multiple times. I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. Number 3, confluence. Using trend lines along with other technical analysis tools can be very, very beneficial. For example, we have the trend line here. This was our first example, right? We have our trend line, but what is our other technical analysis? What is telling us, oh, this is a great buying opportunity? We could see here, price dropped down, came back up to that, dropped down a little, shattered through, right? And now this is a daily time perspective, daily time frame perspective. So there's a lot of weight within these charts, within these candlesticks. So as we can see, our trend line is here. Our area of prior resistance turned into support right here. Buyers bought out all of these resistance, all of the sellers right here. Price came up, price eventually came back down to our trend line and to where the buyers were sitting at. So this is an example of how you can use confluence to find market opportunities. I want you guys to always remember, though, that no strategy is foolproof. No strategy is going to win 100% of the time. If somebody's telling you that, they are lying straight to your face. So please don't listen to those people. But guys, that is going to wrap up today's video on how to use trend lines to enhance your trading overall. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss any future content. If you guys have any questions, please drop it in the comments. I would be happy to answer any comments. And thank you for watching the video, guys. I'm going to see you in the next one.